5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. We are doing the digital format today because we got the short week and Thanksgiving. I got to be in Green Bay, and you're wherever your secret bunker is.
I thought we were doing it like this because you had to go get your hair dyed.
No, I do that on Sundays before the game. Make sure that I'm looking okay. Yeah. So it was hunting season on Sunday, and it was like a turkey shoot with J.J. McCarthy. They just Minnesota Vikings. We don't need to go too much into that, but he was just standing back there, and everybody took their shots at him. So he's not very good, and the Packers did what they had to do. I would say that they did what the schedule asked them to do, and not a ton more. What would you say?
Well, two things can be true, but the thing about it is, it was a must-win for Minnesota because a lot of these teams, they're getting to that 6-5, and those are the teams you're going to have to leap over if you want to get into the playoffs. But I also thought it was a must-win for the Packers because you don't want to win 3 consecutive games at home, and you got to keep pace with Detroit and Chicago. So, but I didn't think they can hold J.J. McCarthy to 87 yards and 2 picks. I didn't think they could hold Justin Jefferson to like 6 targets and 4 catches. And I think Jordan Addison had 1 target. So they really were out of sorts. But I think a lot of it had to do with the coaching staff of Minnesota. Had they just maybe, and a lot of coaches get into this because I think we did the same thing on our offense. Just run the football.
Yeah.
Just run it. And when Jordan Mason came in, they just ran the ball him on that one stretch, and even with Aaron Jones, and then they started to panic a little bit because they're looking up there and we're down 17-6. But sometimes cutting the game down can help you, and that's the reason why this was total domination by the Packers, and I was exceptionally happy because the defense was like, that's enough. You don't need to score no more. We could when it was 10-6, that was enough. And I was very, very excited by that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can say about the defense that they didn't do. I agree with you. If Minnesota would have kept trying to run the ball, there's still maybe the one thing with the defense is there's still some yards they're giving up on the ground that they need to clean up a little bit. Some guys getting a little bit too eager and crashing holes that they shouldn't and trying to make big plays. But, otherwise, Micah Parsons just changes the game for everybody. It has to be, in your eyes, I assume, similar to what Reggie White did, because I kept looking at it, and it seemed like Micah Parsons was flashing somewhere in front of J.J. McCarthy's eyes at some point, and it's, whether it's off to the side or it's in front of him or whatever, that's got to be really intimidating.
Matter of fact, you bring up Reggie White. Him and Reggie White, I think the only 2 to do it for 5 straight years or something like that.
Their first 5 years in the league, yeah. 10 sacks or more.
That's crazy. I mean, if you think about this day and age when sometimes you know where he is, and sometimes you don't. And remember, you pointed out when he was in the middle against Pittsburgh, and Aaron kind of glitched a little bit like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't think he was going to be there. And then after he got that second sack, they ran another game when he was in the middle of town. He just ran over the guard and the center, and both of them just fall back on their back.
Yeah.
And now guys are just trying to reach to JJ to get a sack. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
It was unbelievable.
as I said in our podcast yesterday, he's making money for people. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
he's helping Devontae Wyatt get a contract. He's going to help, Kingsley Enagbare and all these other guys. He's
Yes.
making such a big difference. Now, the competition gets a little tougher this week. I guess we should address the offense first before we go on to Detroit. But
love the game plan.
Did you? I was just going to ask, what did you
God.
think about it? Because I don't think they went into the game thinking they were going to run it 42 times.
I think they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they started having some success, and then we're like, okay, why not? But you think otherwise. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
No, I really do. I think that, I'm a big fan of Emanuel Wilson, first of all. And that's kind of Matt LaFleur's, like I call guys my nephew. That would Emanuel Wilson is somebody LaFleur probably would call outside the locker room. Oh, that's my nephew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because this guy runs hard. He gets low. He had 28 carries. He probably could have took 35. When it's rolling like that, you just have to get out of his way. And I think they went into that game and said, we can establish a run, because without Josh Jacobs, people, may say, oh, it's just going to be Jordan going to throw it 40 times.
Right.
And I think he threw it 14 times. And he completed 14, he threw it 21 times. If you can go into any game between 18 to 25 or 22 attempts at the quarterback spot, and you're running that ball, look at the time of possession. If you were at that game as you were and I was, that game went by fast because they're running the football. That's what you want nowadays. Run the football, tough defense. You can beat anybody.
Yeah, and if you're getting your running back 28 carries, then something good is probably happening. And I thought that was some of the issues with their offense is that, man, you want to get Josh Jacobs into the fourth quarter with 20 carries. So he's been working his, running over guys. And you could see that in that fourth quarter drive when LaFleur called the same play, like 5 or 6 straight times, inside zone play. And they just kept getting 4, 6, 11, 12 yards on it. And I kept thinking to myself, well, Emanuel Wilson's doing a great job. Man, what if that were Josh Jacobs? He's going to really punish you. And I thought Wilson did a really nice job doing the same thing. I also thought that it was about time that they followed our advice and put Anthony Belton in at right guard.
Hey, we're playing for keeps now. You got to try everything because the line, because I've had this discussion with Frank Winters a lot. Sometimes offensive lines are better run blockers than pass blockers.
Mm-hmm.
Guys don't want to pass protect 40 times a game.
No.
But if you can rotate get a nice 7 or 8 man rotation going into the playoffs, you're going to beat a lot of teams. And then they're not going to really know when certain lines are in what you play because you're going to go against your tendencies because you don't have a lot of film on him at certain areas. So they just assume, they're just doing this because 74 is out. But it could be something the coaches are trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the fact that Christian Watson had 7, led the team in targets, which was 7.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still see how they want to rotate 86 and 81 in there to use the 3 tight ends. I love, if it was up to me, Tom, I would substitute every down. I just would. Yes, because the defense, now you got the defense kind of guessing what you want to do. So, and then the coaches try to get a pattern. But if you leave the guys out there for 3-4 plays in a drive, and I get it, everything is working, we'll keep running it till we get maybe 2 yards instead of 4, then the defense can adjust as well. But if you go in motion, substitute defenses. I think they caught Flores by surprise.
Yeah. And the other smart part about it was Jordan Love wasn't 100%. His left shoulder was still bothering him. He was handing off right-handed, I believe, most of the game.
Yes.
And so why subject him to a bunch of hits against a blitzing defense like the Minnesota Vikings? I mean, he took 4 hits and a sack as it was, but, why make it worse? You got a game on Thursday. So I think that worked out well for them.
No question. I mean, because you have to think about it. If he's handing off like that and they didn't have any turnovers of huge magnitudes, then okay, fine. Because as you talked about, you got a short week and you play an opponent that if the Giants just had any kind of football knowledge, they could have won that game because they could have made Detroit score to beat them, but they went for it. And I get being aggressive, but when you 2-9 or whatever, sometimes you want to try to, have a morale win, and that would have been good for them.
Yeah.
But if when Detroit looks at this film, they're going to see a swarming defense, and they're going to see an offense that's very efficient. Mm-hmm. That's a recipe for beating anybody.
So let's move on to Detroit. Short week. It's going to be here in a couple of days.
Yes.
If one of the real benefits of having that type of running game going in is that Detroit went to overtime. And they went to overtime in a game that, comes 3 days before they have to play again. And if I'm Green Bay, I try to keep that Detroit defense on the field as long as I can and try to wear them down as the game goes on. Because it is a game of attrition on Thursdays. It's just brutal to play, especially when you're playing in the morning like that.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what kind of game plan they come with. And if they do, I'm assuming Josh Jacobs is going to play. I'm also assuming that Jayden Reed's going to be back. I think that's a done deal. And so now
you would think because playing at Michigan State, this would be the time for him to do it.
Yeah. And this was the goal all along. They had to do a bunch of scans to make sure that everything was healed completely. Yeah. He's been running routes. His foot is completely healed. He's been running routes. I saw him doing blocking stuff on the side. I think he's ready to go. I don't know how much he's going to contribute, but it's just another guy they can have on the field. So all that said, what's your game plan going into Detroit?
Stop zero. Jahmyr Gibbs, that guy's a game changer. He's the most exciting player in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's a guy, he's one and done. But the first time they played these guys, I think they held him to 17 yards or something like that. They just made him run lateral and make a second move like we used to do with Barry Sanders. You got to attack. And Michael Parsons just dominated, Sewell. And they just had no answers. Jared Goff had no answers for that Packer defense in the first time they played. Now, they've gotten a little bit better. But now that the head coach is calling the plays, not only are they aggressive, but they'll try anything, Tom. Right. But you must make them pay. If they're going to keep going for it,
mm-hmm.
you got to make them pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they play Philly. Yeah, if they're going to just go for it on their own 25 or go for it instead of kicking field goal. They say the best job in the world, Tom, are the kickers in Detroit. Because they'll go for it anywhere. So the Packers got to be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be shocked by it. Because the same thing about Jared Goff, get him off his spot and you got a good chance. But they're going to try to run the ball. They've seen what Carolina did. and they seen a couple series what Minnesota did. Everybody's saying now with defenses, all you gotta do is run the football this time of the year. But if they stop the run, it's gonna be the same game like it was the first time they played. Jared Goff was totally confused. He was confused. They took him out of his game. And then all the offense had to do is just be efficient. Don't turn the ball over, run the football, and play action. And stay away from all the pushing and shoving and talking. Yeah. Stay away from that, man. That's because they're going to try to get you out of your game.
Right. Offensively, so if you're the Detroit defense, or even if you were the Packers defense, and all of a sudden your old Packers defense, and you've got, I'm assuming Matthew Golden will be back. Let's just assume for argument's sake. I don't know for sure. Yeah. Christian Watson and Jayden Reed. How do you expect, what are you thinking the Packers would do to open that up, to take advantage of those three guys? As a defense, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm bringing these guys in tight, short splits, because Christian Watson, one of the best blocking wide receivers. I'm putting number 11 in motion, and I'm going to confuse the hell out of their defense. And you can go play action or run stretch zone plays. And it doesn't matter where Aiden Hutchinson is, because they move him around anyway. But I wouldn't do things with this defense. I wouldn't do a lot of wide receiver screens, anything that's east and west, I wouldn't do, because that's what they do. They run. You got to attack this defense going north and south. And that's how you get them. If you do want to run some tight end screens, keep them in, chip on 97 and turn around. There's the ball. That's 5 to 10, 15 yards right there.
Right.
And now they got to guess. Is this the screen? Is it the draw? I don't know, but next thing you know, number 8's going right by you. And this is a legitimate two-headed monster now with Emanuel Wilson. So he's still going to play.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he had like 12, 13 carries and Jacobs had like 18 to 20. But I would definitely try to confuse that front because they're going to be aggressive. I mean, they have to. Because they had a terrible showing with the Giants. They're going to be aggressive.
Yeah, one thing I would do, they're not gonna, they don't like to give up anything over their heads. They're kind of like the Packers. They but they play a lot of man to man too.
They do.
And I would try to take some shots with Christian Watson early and make them at least defend that, so that then you see, okay, how are they going to play that, and how can we play off of that?
Right.
How can we get Jayden Reed underneath, or Golden underneath, or Dobbs, and see how that goes. But I would start with Christian Watson because, their corners, they're not real deep at corner. Try to take some shots at Amik Robertson. He's, one of the guys who's given up some TDs this year. What else? What else would you do to try to get Christian Watson involved?
Oh, play action, deep over route, bring him through the line of scrimmage. That's difficult. When he comes in motion, he stops right over between the guard and the tackle. And he's going up like he's a lead blocker, swims the guy, and just go like a deep over and do a crossing right off of it. That defenses, trust me, as a safety, it confuses the hell out of me. And I'm thinking he's in there to block, and next thing you know, he's gone. And Jordan got to hit him because he'll be wide open. Because even if they play man-to-man, he'll get caught up in the trash, so you'll rub him off on somebody. Even if it's zone, they'll attack because it's a play action. And all you want, any defensive back in that zone to just come up one step, and he's behind you.
Right.
Like you said, I would keep them guessing with stuff like that. And then once that happens, they're going to play man-to-man all game, and you can run your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting. And they know what they got to do in the past game against Jared Goff. They're going to see a lot of play action.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think I think Bullard's going to spend a lot of time on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
I don't know what they'll do if Keyshawn Nixon doesn't play, but number 36 out there played pretty solid from what I could tell. I mean, they didn't line him up against Justin Jefferson, but he's a big corner who can tackle.
And he wants all the smoke too.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try to get Jameson Williams down. That's their deep threat.
Yeah.
That guy, he's eligible anytime he's out there to lead the league in average per catch at any time.
Right.
So they're going to try to get him down. But if the safeties do that cover 2 look, they're going to run the ball. So, 29 and 33, hold it, and then start to walk down. It's too late. There's 7 seconds left on the clock for him to change it. And you got to be sure tacklers, because if you miss Gibbs, he is gone.
Yeah.
But if you confuse and you got to get 2 things real quick. The Green Bay Packers, number 1 in the league on third down efficiency. And you must get Jared Goff into third down. That's how you beat them. Get him into third down. So they have to make a decision on fourth down what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them out of second and short. But yeah, their offense, they're not trying to hide. If Laporta plays, it's a big difference, because I know they didn't have him. But even if they don't have Laporta, they're going to run the offense. Because I went back and look at how Morton was calling plays and how Campbell calls plays. It's totally different. It's the same system, but each coach wants to do something a little bit different.
Right. And
that can be an issue too, because Matt LaFleur knows their system and they know our system.
Mm-hmm.
This is a common opponent. That means you play them twice every year. You know their personnel very well, but they have players who they play for keeps. 32, he ain't the cleanest guy in the world, but he played for keeps.
Yeah, he pays himself. He gives a lot of his salary back to the NFL.
Yes. And they don't even tell him to tone it down.
No.
They just, O'Neal, those guys, man, Hutchinson, these guys, man, they're trying to hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
You use that against them and beat them.
Okay. Just from, I know you go into this game thinking, you got to beat Detroit on the road, but is that 100% true? If they were to lose, is that where? I know you don't even like to think about it, but what I'm trying to do is assess, is it a must-win game? Do they have to win this game to be the team that they want to be?
I would say yes, because of what Chicago is doing. Because you don't want to fall 2 games behind Chicago. If you keep within a game or tied with Chicago in any way, you'll see them December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I love what the NFL has done down the stretch. The division games, I think that's great. I think it's great. I think back in the day, we used to play a lot of division games up front, and the non-common opponents played them a little bit last.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, people would rest all their players,
Right.
But the way it is now, you can't rest a lot of players because you may need that particular game. So I'm glad the kicking situation seemed to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if Whelan doesn't get into the Pro Bowl, something wrong. That guy's amazing.
Yeah. I will say it's a flip between him and that kid last night who was booming 55.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you're right.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yes.
Well, it is. It's a coin flip between those two. The thing you have to take into consideration is that Whelan's going to be kicking in, 10-degree weather in a month.
That's true.
this kid's indoors all the time. But
Yes, yes. That's a good point.
that was something to watch. That was
It was. I mean, it was like, did he hit the scoreboard?
yeah.
And then, but Tom, what's been really blowing my mind is I think they had 2 kicks yesterday, like a 64-yarder and a 68-yard. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, a guy for the Vikings averaged 55 yards a punt last night, and Whelan was at 45-5, and I thought that was pretty good.
Didn't that kicker make a 59-yard into the wind?
Yes.
And then the Dallas kicker, Aubrey, he's been doing it all year.
Yeah.
But I think I saw 4 or 5 kickers kicking in the 60s.
Yeah.
And that's a real weapon.
That's nuts. Yeah.
I mean, Detroit's kicker can make kicks too, but so I'm glad McManus seemed to be healthy. But I don't know what his limit is. I don't know if it's 55, 57, 58, 60.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. We will see, because this game could come down to a field goal, no question.
Yes.
All right, let's go to your prediction.
I think the Green Bay Packers are a better team. I think Jordan Love has understood the efficiency of what he has to do. He'll be able to get some weapons back. I think the offensive line looks bigger and athletic, and I like the rotation. So, and when the Packers score like 20 points, they're like 8-0-1 or something like that. So my thing is, on the road, Tom, you got to try to – we used to always say this. You got to score 21 points. So I'm going to go Green Bay Packers 21-17. And I really expect the running game to be, for the second week in a row, to be dominating. And I think that it's time for Keyshawn, if he plays, it's time for him to get his first pick 6. If not, Karen DeValentine, they're going to throw a rat. Jared Goff going to throw it to one of y'all boys, take it to the house. He's going to throw a rat to you. But you got to expect it, though. If you don't expect it, you're going to drop it. Trust me, I'm telling you from experience.
Right.
He's going to throw a rat to you because Michael Parsons going to be coming. 52, he played in Michigan. These are the games that Rashad Gary loves to play, so I'm excited. 21-17.
All right. All right, you want to thank some people before we head out?
Yeah, well, the only thing that's really for this, especially for this particular month, is if you're at any Pick and Save Metro Market, please round up, and we make donations to Feeding America of Eastern Wisconsin. My good friend Aaron is there, and they're helping a lot of families out. And me and Curtis Granderson, a great baseball player, we teamed together to help as many families as possible. You can go to Pick and Save Facebook page for more information. And again, if you're in Wisconsin and really anywhere our fans, if you can round up at any register, or more than anything, Tom, help somebody who you don't know, then you'll be a real hero.
Absolutely. I'm with you. All right. Well, we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I will be at the live blog, running the live blog on Thursday, starting at about 11:30. So please come and join me. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.